Okay.
Hi, Sean.
Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to Real Talk with Cammie, Grayson, and Friends. This is our show, Cocktails and Conversations. Thank you for being a part of our evening. And let me tell you, um, our new little cups are here. They're plastic, they're not glass, but starting off the night with some wine. Everybody got their glasses?
Well, I don't have any glass tonight.
Uh-oh.
I'm a
No, how
little
you going?
tired. Look, I already finished my glass.
You finished your Okay, we are later, so the show is later. So I guess you
Yeah,
you get that one. We let you walk with that one. Well, anyway, salute and let's enjoy
salute,
our little
ladies.
glass. But I think our little
Yes, yes,
glasses are so
yes.
cute, and it's on both
I
sides.
love it.
So yeah, very excited. Plastic can't even break it, so that's even better. All right, so our topic is a little
Yeah.
different. So we got a bunch of stuff that happened this week alone. So one thing I wanted to talk about is the George Floyd um, verdict. Then I want to talk about the police officer who shot the young lady with the knife. And then
Hmm.
the third thing was to find out if you guys heard anything about this being National Rape Night this Saturday.
Hmm.
So it's all over the little thing JBZ like um what is that called? The JBZ like to do.
Oh, yeah.
I
The
never can
platform
remember
he
that.
uses.
Yeah, I never can remember that. But anyway, it's all over the social media, and they're talking about raping women on the 24th. It's a national rape night.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, and you know how things go viral. And so just kind of wanted to make sure people understood and just to be mindful and careful. My neighbors actually told me about it, and they was like, where you going, where you going to be, you need to be home, so we know that you're safe, type thing, because they don't care. They're just young people acting a fool and just doing stuff, and you can easily see those rapes turning into trafficking or just a way of killing somebody. So Aisha, you muted. There you go. What you say?
Oh, that's a little background noise there.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, I
so
was hearing that too. Yeah.
So I was actually looking at the footage of
You're watching that police officer.
the
We've had
police
a lot of
officer
people guess
just
at
get
what
out the
might have
car,
been his choices.
and he
Nine
I guess he did what he
situation.
thought was
What
right.
in your interpretation
Let
were
me see if I can get this to the beginning.
you're watching that police officer. We've had a lot of people guess at what might have been his choices. 9 seconds he had to deal with a volatile situation. What in your interpretation were his choices in that moment?
Much. He only, like you said, he only had seconds to respond. From my point of view, watching this, unfortunately, the whole scenario put him in a bad spot, regardless of what the situation was. He could have either not fired, and the young lady in pink could have got stabbed in the neck and been brutally or fatally injured, and then responded and shot. And that would have been two young ladies possibly dead. Or he could have responded the way that he did, and unfortunately, one lady lost her life in an incident that probably could have been avoided.
Wow. I know one of the things you have said is that the video doesn't lie. Real quickly before I let you go, what does that mean?
It shows he literally got out of his vehicle and had seconds to respond. So the video doesn't lie. I mean, there was an altercation. He responded. He reacted with what he thought was his best judgment. Whether that means he tried and go for the leg, which I don't think he had time to take aim and go for a leg, to be honest. So he did what he thought was best.
So what do you guys think of that? I mean, was that best to actually kill somebody? opposed to shooting in the leg. I mean,
You know what, Cammy? It's truly their training. I'm not giving an excuse, but I was talking about this earlier this week to some coworkers, and truly their training tells them to do that. It's not right. It doesn't make any sense. Perhaps they need to look at the entire system and the way they train these people. Um, Perhaps better evaluations before they actually are put out on the force. But I mean that's it's horrendous. It doesn't make sense. But I think it speaks to the way they're actually being trained.
wow.
What do you guys think?
Well, the news reporter said something interesting there. He mentioned about maybe they could have shot her in the leg. But what
Mm,
people don't understand, when an officer draws their weapon, they're not
mhm,
shooting to injure, they're shooting to kill.
mhm, mhm,
So at that point,
mhm,
he already had made an informed decision that, you know what, this young lady's in danger. You know, she's drawing a knife on this other young lady. You know, yes, I could have pulled maybe a taser, but would that have done it? You know, and I can't, in that case, you know, I haven't seen the video up close and really studied it or watched it. So I really don't know, but just from based on what you've shown me, that was that's a snap decision, you
yeah,
know, and I don't know that he could have done something else. Maybe a taser would have worked, maybe it wouldn't have, you know, but that
Yeah.
is the decision that he made. And it's unfortunate that, you know, this young lady lost her life um, in the process of that. But you know, anytime they draw a weapon, they are shooting to kill. They're not shooting to injure. So people have to understand that if you're going to try to use deadly force on someone else, then you better expect that that's going to be returned by the officer too, to
Mhm.
neutralize the situation.
that's
So,
true.
you know, when an officer steps in front of you and you have a weapon, it's best you just drop it. Just stop whatever you're doing so you are
Right.
safe, because they're
Right.
not going to sit here and bargain with you all the time. Now,
Right.
on the other hand of that, I've seen videos to where, matter of fact, there was a video of a female officer and there was a man wielding a knife,
Mm,
and he literally ran around the car and chased her, and she's backing up with her gun the whole time and did not shoot him until he came forth to her and shot, you
Hmm.
know. So but again, you know, the situation is a little bit different. He's coming in and he's approaching, this lady's already got the knife. So, you know, I can't even say what I would have done in that situation, you
mhm,
know.
Right.
So
Right.
that's just one of those things. It's unfortunate she lost her life, but I don't know.
yeah,
Well, I
yeah.
mean, well, I was talking to my neighbors yesterday, and the whole situation is with everything. I feel like if we would comply with the situation instead of being hostile and not stopping what we're doing and being mindful that these people are here to uphold the law, instead of, like with George, he's fighting instead of just sitting down, putting your hands on the steering wheel, so they can see what you're doing, what's going on, hands up, whatever you need to do to bring down the hostility. Because if you all da 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 da, that's going to make
You know what?
them react,
I
and that's and I don't know if it's
I
just a stereotype, but we are hostile. We are.
We
let me tell
comply
you something,
sometimes too,
Kim.
though.
Let me interject for a second. I remember when I was, let's see, I was 20 years old. All right, looked like a little Puerto Rican. Okay, but I'm a black man. They saw it. They saw whatever they saw. They saw a brown person. Right. I was coming home late one night. Now, where I lived at the time, where I was, I was going to my mother's house, my second home, but still, it was where I was living. She lived in the projects, right? We,
Hmm.
me and the person pull up. I sat in the car for a couple of minutes. I saw a patrol car across the street, but I didn't think anything of it because, again, I'm arriving to my mother's house. Okay. I get out the car. and I was immediately stopped. And I was asked, "What are you doing here?" I think you guys know where I'm going with this. And I said, "I'm at my mother's house. I'm just going home." And he asked me for my ID. I pull out my ID. My ID said something different because I actually lived primarily with my grandmother. So they questioned it, right? And I said, "No, I live here. You can walk with me, sir." Now, Cammy, you know me. I'm a very polite person. I comply. I was I was very young at the time also, and I was actually pushed, grabbed, pulled back. My hands were pulled behind my back, and I was bent over onto the car, and they started to pat me down. I had nothing on but shorts and a t-shirt. I was coming from the beach. You see what I'm saying? So, I mean, I, just firsthand, this is what happened to me. A polite black young man at that time, and it's still going on now. I understand exactly what you're saying. I'm the person that also says the same thing. Comply. Be polite. Give them the information that they want. The only reason why everything turned out okay is because a nosy neighbor across the street who's always
I'm
looking
glad it's
out her
private.
window started, "Hey, what's going on out there? That's Tracy's son. What are you doing?" Let me. She called her husband, "Go get Tracy," and this, that, and that's what sort of people started to come around. But that was like 10:30 at night in the project. Me just
Wow.
getting dropped off at my mother's house. So, like I said, I understand what you're saying, but this is real. It may be different for a black man, a young black man, than a black woman, but firsthand perspective, it really didn't matter. So I always, I don't take my time. If I see police, I get out the car, I go do what I have to do. I get back to where I need to get to, because you just don't know. You just don't know. Yeah,
Wow.
that's
I,
my
I
Yeah,
story.
I
but it
have
seemed
to
like, go ahead.
I have to
Mhm.
agree with you on that one. Yes, I would urge anyone to comply. Definitely do that.
Definitely.
However, there still are some incidents, situations to where you just have people that are on the force that just don't need to be there in the first
Right.
place.
Right.
And even if you comply, and like Foster said, firsthand experience. I've even encountered times where I have been pulled over as a woman. I don't
Mhm.
pose any threat whatsoever. I'm complying and have been met with hostility,
Mhm.
and just praying that it doesn't escalate further than what it is, being
Right.
talked to like a dog and being mistreated, and just praying that it doesn't go any further than that. So,
Right.
yes, you can comply and do all of those things. However, some of these officers, I feel like, need some psych evaluations,
Mhm.
even before joining the force and throughout the duration of them working, because they're dealing with levels of stress too, you
Right.
know, and
Right.
I feel like it's almost like PTSD that they're dealing with. And
Yeah.
that's going to spill over in how they treat others and how they work with others too. And you can comply, you can do all of those things, but when you have someone that doesn't have the right intentions, doesn't have the right training, you know, it's gonna be, it's a recipe for disaster.
Yeah,
It
exactly.
is.
Exactly. Well, unfortunately, again, the color of our skin makes it, that's not going to go away. And I think I posted something not too long ago where it said something to the fact of, you think the legal system is working for us, but remember, once upon a time, it was legal to have slaves.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, so at the end of the day, it started off being legal. That's just like the marijuana thing. At first it
Mhm.
was illegal, and now it's legal in most states. So it's just the vice versa. It's just a flip. Now it's not legal, and people don't want to change. They want to keep the way it was. They want to keep us suppressed, and it's just the KKK is going to always be there. And even if you're not a part of KKK, that prejudice is just. terrible. It's a terrible thing. And unfortunately, our lifetime, it's more, we see more of it only because of the society we're in, because we have the social media and we have the cameras and we have the phones, and everything is more vivid now, where it's been going on. It hasn't, this is not new. It's been going on. We're just now seeing it, more of it, I should say. And so that's what makes it real sad, because it's a downer. It's a Debbie Downer.
It
Really,
is
it
a
is.
downer. It is a
So
downer.
it
You
makes
know
you.
what's frustrating too?
What is it?
Just to unpack this a little bit more, and we can leave it alone and go to another subject. But when when you bring up these topics to a Caucasian person, and I don't go back and I don't do all of that.
Yeah.
Again, I love all people. I treat everyone the same. But when
Hmm.
these conversations come up and someone comes and says, well, that Caucasian person, male or female, says, oh, well, why do we want to focus on something negative? They don't want to talk about it. They literally want to
Well, who
brush it under the
does?
rug. That's why it won't go away.
Yeah.
That's why
Well,
it
no,
won't go away,
no.
because we can't openly talk about these things and
Right.
resolve them. Yeah, people, they just literally want to. Well, that's not me, and I just, and they're some of the good, very good people, but they just don't want to deal with it
Right.
because it's
Right.
there. Yeah, it's a
Well,
weird subject
it is
for them.
weird. In my conversation last night, my neighbors are Caucasian, and they
Hmm.
were on the same page. And
Hmm.
it's because, just like we can call each other nigger, but they can't call us nigger. That's not fair.
Hmm.
That's not right. And so a
Hmm.
lot of times they don't understand, and they're trying to understand, and they're trying to be. They haven't been in our shoes, and they can't be in our shoes because their skin color is not the skin color to be in our shoes. So
Hmm.
to me, I love my Caucasian friends and family, because they are
Hmm.
trying. And so it is hard. It's hard. I mean, just like just think about school and you seeing somebody being bullied. If you wasn't the one to
Hmm.
stand up for that person that was being bullied, you felt bad for that person, and you didn't want to say anything because you didn't want to be beat up on if you were, not that strong. Just think about that person in those type of shoes. It's
Yeah,
kind of like, okay, I see
it's
it,
the
but
same
the
thing.
thing is, I'm proud of my Caucasian sisters and brothers, because at that Floyd event, there were more Caucasian people than I saw black, and that tells me that it's not contained anymore. I mean, the whole world is knowing, they're knowing what's going on now, And so for those people who do feel the same way we do, it's not their fault, and we can't blame them. It's
Hmm.
not, they're, to me, I feel like they're victims just as much as we are, because you do have all these mixed couples and family and friends, and some, it's just the few. It's just the few that makes it bad for everybody else. And how dare us, not saying us on the show, but I'm saying anybody who try to blame a Caucasian person for something somebody else did. I don't want to be
Hmm.
blamed for these crazy black people out here doing all this shooting and killing
Hmm.
each other up. I'm not one of those people. Y'all not one of these people. So why should we
Hmm.
put the Caucasian people in that situation too? I
Yeah,
mean, again, they it's that conversation is not easy. It's not
it's
easy,
not.
and it's to some people. My neighbors, all the way down. It's like, they're there, and they're young though. You see what I'm saying? They're young. But my
Hmm.
neighbor in Kansas City, I don't think we've had these conversations, and it's just honesty. It's just pure love and honesty. You got
You know.
so many people
Mhm.
that is against this craziness.
Yeah.
We
You
do.
spoke about the N word. Have you noticed that the younger people, and I say the younger people, um, some of them they don't treat the word the same. I've heard a mixed group of kids call each other nigga in a in the same way that we use it lovingly, and it
Hmm.
didn't phase any of them.
Right.
And it kind of gave me pause for a second, but at the same time, it's a new generation. It's a new, you know, that word comes with a lot of hurt. That word comes with a lot of pain. But at the same time, if we make it a part of our speech, it rolls over eventually. It does. I don't. It's just so many things. Alicia, what do you think? You usually have an insightful. You know
Y'all
what I mean,
the
though?
N-word. Okay, well, my thought process behind that the N-word. First of all, nigga and nigger is two
Mm-hmm.
different things.
Yes, it is.
When you look in like the slang dictionary, nigga is used as almost like an term of endearment. It's almost like saying what's up. It's
Mm-hmm.
kind of like you saying bro, but
Mm-hmm.
you wouldn't, as a Caucasian person, it's there's still a such thing as I feel like race appropriation. And as a Caucasian person, I'm not gonna go up to a black person and be like, "What's up, my nigga?" That's just it does, the two things don't go together, you know.
In the wrong
And
circle.
I'm trying to tell my Caucasian, we love you, but please don't do that. You know, there's you know, to
Most
me,
definitely.
when two black people say it, it's acknowledging their blackness. It's acknowledging,
Mm-hmm.
you know, the new age
The,
way of, you
the
know, slang
brotherhood.
and stuff like that. It's not meant to
Mm-hmm.
be derogatory. It's
Mm-hmm.
not meant in that way. So if you as a Caucasian person come up to them and you, my nigga, you're not a black person. So you can't really use that term in that way. You
To hear
know,
you say
I,
it.
I'm just saying,
And see, and I beg
I'm
to
just
differ.
being
I feel
honest.
like
This is
I
real
feel
talk, right?
yeah, it's real talk. It's real talk.
Right. It gave me
Don't
pause.
do it.
Like I said, it gave me pause.
I'm
When I
trying to
heard it,
save
I was
y'all.
like, okay. Wow.
Yeah, I mean, well,
Okay.
you know, again, it takes it takes you have to be a part of it. So again, just a stranger. Y'all seen
It's
that
like
on
when in
movies?
Rome.
Yeah, y'all seen those movies. Oh, come on now. We've seen those movies and how everything paused, the music stops, scratching
Oh,
when somebody that don't fit in actually say something out of turn. You know, it's not like
oh
they
yeah. Oh
not
yeah.
like they. You know, they don't mean any harm. I mean, come on. It's just kind of how it is, I guess. It's just kind of how it is, but
Some
that's
people just
funny.
try to fit in a little too hard.
There you
That's
go.
what it
That's the
is.
word.
Yeah,
That's
that's it.
exactly what it is.
But you know what? Awareness
Square
brings
peg.
about change. You know, it's not enough to say, "Oh, I didn't know." You know, appropriation. Please
Oh,
be
Right.
educate
true.
yourself.
Exactly.
You know, educate
Exactly.
yourself before you just say something
People know.
that might be offensive. You know,
Hmm.
um, I do agree with you, Kimmy, as far as, you know, you do have some Caucasians that really do. They're fighting for the movement. They are aware.
Yeah.
And I'm thankful for that, you know,
Yeah, me
that
too.
Hmm.
this new generation, especially, they're embracing, you know, things that their parents and their grandparents did not embrace. So
Yeah.
I'm
Hmm.
all for that, you know, stand up for change, you know,
Right.
I'm
Right.
for it,
Definitely.
you know. What I'm not for are the ones who sit back and they want to hold on to the old ways, especially the new generation that
Yeah.
haven't even been raised like that, or if they have been, they know the truth and they know what it is, and they still want to, you know, go by those old ways. You know, it's time for
Hmm.
change.
Hmm.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I totally agree.
So
So let's switch gears and go to the verdict for
Why is that? Because there is so
George
much that we
Floyd.
go through, prosecutors go through in the run up to a trial. A judge had to approve an arrest warrant and make an assessment of the evidence. A grand jury had to vote to indict, which is an assessment of the evidence. The investigators, detectives, and agents and prosecutors had to make an assessment of the strength of the evidence, and all of those
factions basically agreed this case should be tried. So a quick verdict generally means everyone in the system got it right, and the jury convicts and holds the offender accountable. That's not a guarantee, but with a verdict this quick on all 3 counts, this is not a split verdict because they announced they have unanimous verdicts on all counts. I would be shocked to see anything but 3 guilty verdicts on the 3 charges.
Glenn, remind our viewers, if you will, as well. We're talking about 3 charges here, as you mentioned: second-degree murder, third-degree murder, and manslaughter. Could you just sort of talk through our viewers what the differences are here and what they should be watching for as they read the decision on each of those particular charges?
Sure. The interesting part is none of these crimes require an intentional killing. The most serious of the 3, second-degree murder, can be proved by an unintentional killing committed during the course of a felony. And that's why I thought prosecutor Steve Schleicher's argument was so strong when he said because of the excessive force, what Derek Chauvin did was a felony assault. And that is what makes it second-degree murder. And I hate to get ahead of ourselves and talk about sentencing, but the maximum sentence for that second-degree murder charge is 40 years in prison. However, there are guidelines that try to norm across the spectrum of convictions, taking into account an offender's background, the circumstances of the crime, prior record of the defendant. But I would say, the sentencing guidelines are only going to govern so much because this case is an outlier. This is a police officer who swore to protect and defend the citizens of Minneapolis, only to execute one of them in broad daylight on videotape. So this is a case where I could see something called an upward departure from the guidelines, even if the guidelines for the ordinary second-degree murder case, the more ordinary second-degree murder case, might set a particular sentence. I could see the prosecutors say, all bets are off in this case, and judge, you need to hit the long ball sentence because of who Derek Chauvin was and how he violated his oath to protect and serve.
All right, Glenn and Cynthia, thank you both so much for being here. We're going to head back out to Minnesota. I know we will be checking in with you both
Okay,
throughout the evening. Thank you
so with
very
that
much for
being
being
said,
with
with the verdict,
All right, let's head over to MSNBC.
do y'all think that the sentence is going to be tough, or do you think it's going to be lax because he is a police officer?
You know what? And just then, I don't even know. I'm serious. I'm hopeful that they will, give him what he deserves, which is a full count of. But with what's happened in the past, I don't really expect it. I don't know. I would be shocked if they actually threw the full book at him, or for lack of a better way for me saying it. But I don't know.
Okay, so my thoughts on this, and this is not coming from the spiritual perspective, right? I could read into it and get an answer, but I'm not going to do that. I will say, and this is just me based on my experience working for a law firm, and knowing how the ins and out of the justice system work. It's really going to depend on that judge. They might be having a bad day or might be having a good day, and decide, you know what, it's really going to depend on that judge to ensure that justice is served at this point. Because if you notice, the news reporter mentioned about the upward departure. So that allows the judge to, even though there might be a certain or a max time based on the charge, that judge can supersede that and decide, you know what? Yes, he doesn't have any priors. Yes, he is an officer. Yes, maybe he was, okay up until this point. But you know what? You intentionally took someone's life. And even though it's not in the parameters of that law that we could get you on, justice can't really be served because we can't. So I need to go further, take it a step further, and make this exception out of you because you murdered somebody.
Right.
So what I'm hoping is a judge will understand that, you know what, we have to set an example. We have to change how we do things
Mm-hmm.
and go
Absolutely.
ahead and make that exception.
Absolutely.
And I'm not expecting anything less than that.
Right. But do you think that they made that judgment based off of everything that was going on? Because that was one of those eye opener cases that it went all across the globe. And
Absolutely.
they feel like if they hadn't made that decision,
We'll burn the
it,
city down.
yeah,
Absolutely.
Yes.
exactly.
Yeah,
Because I
I
felt
think
like
they
it was
did.
going to be an all out war if they hadn't have made that decision.
Hmm.
Mm.
That's,
I
I agree.
wholeheartedly do a lot believe that the decision was based on that, the response from it. And I feel like that is the reason why it happened to begin with, is because, to bring about awareness of what is going on.
right. But see, and this is the thing though, this is the argument. Going back to complying and what was done that we didn't see. For example, the police officer and George Floyd knew each other. They worked together at the same nightclub. The convenience store. Obviously, the man went into the convenience store to get some drugs. That when he saw the cops, he took the drugs real quick. And then the third thing is, why is it you had two cops already on the scene? Then they called this other guy in, and the other guy ended up taking over the whole situation, and they stood back. So it's something there that we don't really see, or it wasn't presented. Either George was going to blow the whistle on somebody, or we could speculate all day long, but it was more to that story because they're saying he could have died from taking the drugs. Okay, that never was brought up at the beginning. Then they said it
That
couldn't.
man did not die from taking any
But
drugs. He
that's
died because it was a knee on his neck.
that's what they're. That was
You
part of
know,
the
and
argument.
I get it because that's the speculation.
There you go.
Speculation.
There you go.
It's easy to do that. It's very easy to do that, but and it's like a smoke screen. They
Right.
they they wanted to be like they want everyone to think about it. They want to give you reasonable doubt. Is that
Right.
the term, Alicia? Reasonable doubt. But see, this is the thing. Everyone saw the footage. The footage speaks out to. I don't care who knew each other. I don't care. I just don't care about any of that.
Right.
All of that has nothing to do with that video that actually shows that officer with his knee on this person's throat and that man pleading for his life and calling for his mother. Oh, it gets to me so much every single time. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
it didn't matter. And I'm so happy. I'm not usually this passionate about something like this, but I was so happy to hear the verdict. I didn't even watch it because I didn't think it was gonna. I didn't expect it, and I don't understand why it happened. You guys are exactly right why it happened. I'm just one person
Right.
paid, one person paid, and now a lot more. If this because it's gonna happen again. It actually did happen again a few times.
Yeah. Yeah.
But this he's been held to a certain example. Now let's see how farther it goes.
Right.
I don't know, but yeah, I'm hopeful, but
State of Minnesota have
we're still
taken
gonna
to
be
the
dealing with this.
second night after a young black man.
Okay. So this is the third
Mhm.
one. Like you said,
Okay.
it did happen again. And this one is the police officer firing a gun, screaming and yelling out taser, 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 but stated she's shooting the shit out the man and killing him. So that's what
Was
this one
shot
is.
dead by police near Minneapolis. The officer who fired at 20-year-old Dwante Wright says that she confused her gun with her taser. Tensions in Minneapolis were already running high before this latest incident. A white former police officer, Derek Chauvin, there is currently on trial charged with the murder of George Floyd. The president is appealing for peace. The last moments of Daunte Wright's life, recorded by the body cam of the police officer who fatally shot him. 20-year-old Wright is arrested during a traffic stop. He struggles free and gets back in the car. Then, police say the footage shows that the officer used her gun by mistake.
As I watch the video and listen to the officer's commands, it is my belief that the officer had the intention to deploy their taser, but instead shot Mr. Wright with a single bullet. This appears to me, from what I viewed and the officer's reaction and distress immediately after, that this was an accidental discharge that resulted in the tragic death of Mr. Wright.
Anger spilled out onto the streets hours after Wright's killing. It does to dawn curfew.
Okay, so with that being said, that goes back to the same thing I was saying earlier about complying. Why didn't he just comply? Why did he not just put his hand? I understand he had outstanding warrants. I understand he took the time to call his mom and let her know that he was getting pulled over. Why did he not just comply? Why did he just not put his hands on the steering wheel?
People are, you know what? I'm gonna give a real answer. I'm gonna give a real, yeah, that's it. He was, as a Black person, Black man, Black woman, and living the places that I've lived and been in a situation, I'm terrified every single time. Every single time when they just drive by me and it has nothing to do with me, I get nervous because of the situations that I've been in. You are terrified. And my reaction may be different from another person's reaction. You know, that was his honest reaction. That was his real reaction. I mean, I would call someone myself, because most people have their phones recording the entire time. You know, because I don't know. It's,
yeah.
I understand about complying, but you don't know what you're gonna do in that split second. You just don't know. You go into panic mode.
So as far as the police officer, I don't understand how you can confuse a taser with a gun. First of all, that's a biggie for me.
Tasers are orange.
I know. And then the biggie thing is, instead of saying freeze, stop doing this and stop doing that, you're hollering taser, taser, taser.
Yep.
Who
And you know what?
hollers taser when they're about to tase somebody?
Don't you? But you know, I heard this on another show. There was, these men and women are terrified to do their jobs at the same time. You know, I know some very good police officers, Black and white, you know, because of the line of work that I'm in, and some that I trust, some that I don't, Black and white. A lot of them are terrified to do their jobs. I don't know what was going on through her head. I don't know if it was intentional. I don't know. Watching that, did it sound like she was remorseful? Perhaps not. No one will ever know, really.
Right.
Her and the Lord.
I know. To me, it's just so weird that you would shoot someone thinking that you're tasing them, and then you would scream taser, taser, taser. You don't normally scream, I'm shooting you, shooting you, shooting you. You know, why would you scream taser, taser,
But
taser?
you know what? And it's a different procedure. Even where they're kept on your body, it's a different procedure to administer. The squeeze is different. I've handled both both things, and it doesn't make any sense to me because they even feel different.
Right.
How much training did she have? How long was she on the force? What was she fresh? What did she just come out of the academy? Was it her first night? All these things are running through my head because it's like, how could you? But again, that split second reaction. Perhaps she shouldn't have been a police officer in the first place.
Right.
It goes back to those evaluations, those psych evaluations, and vetting them a little bit more.
Bingo, that was my question. I wanted to know, how long has she been on this force that you
Mhm,
didn't know the difference between your taser and your
mhm,
gun? Because I
mhm,
would imagine they would weigh differently. I imagine they look
mhm,
differently. I
mhm,
imagine they're on one side of your body and you got the one on the other side. So I don't know how you would mistakenly pull that. Yes, I get high stress situation. You scared. Maybe you thought you reached for this or that, but it's like as soon as you grab that, wouldn't you know at that
You
point?
would have
You
noticed
feel
it.
it. Yeah,
Exactly.
you would have felt it like, okay, oh, this is my gun. I
And
ain't
you
mean to
steady
pull this, but
shooting, doing
stop.
taser, taser, taser.
Yeah,
You
let me
steady shooting. Come
right.
on.
And it's like I don't know if maybe she got scared because there was too much commotion going on. Maybe thought he was going to
mhm,
reach for something.
mhm,
The video, the way it is, it was too jarred for me to really see what transpired to make her think to pull that. But I just don't understand, how do you confuse the two? I don't understand that. And I really wonder, how long has she been on the force? Does that play
mhm.
a role, or what's going on?
Well,
But I just feel,
I think I heard that she was actually training someone.
oh wow, so she probably been there for a while, so she would know the difference.
I could be
Oh my
wrong, but I think
goodness.
that's what I heard on my Alexa, that she was actually training someone,
And
and
so
that was
I just I still feel like, what bothers me the most in this situation, I get snap decisions. I get, some things happen and it's unfortunate, but it seems like it's too often that people of color get the unfortunate end of the stick.
Mhm,
When I see the same sort of scenarios go on with people that are Caucasian or of another nationality, and there's so much leniency. There's so much more
yeah,
carefulness to how they handle situations. So much,
yeah,
it's more delicate.
yeah.
right, right,
So it makes you wonder, like, is it really intentional? Did you really have it out for this man, that the fact that you couldn't give him a warning or a command before you took deadly force?
yeah,
It really makes you wonder, like, what's really going on in your head? Maybe if you say it on film, can you get away with it? I really wonder, because it's too convenient that this is just going on repeatedly over and over and over.
right, right. And within the same week of the trial and everything, that just was over the top. It's just kind of
Right.
like, okay, let's top the media off of his and just put the media over here. What are we really doing here? So, but anyway, that's what the three things that was heavy on my heart this week was the trial, um, the lady with the knife getting killed, and then the little 21-year-old boy with the traffic violations,
Yeah,
getting killed just for that, you
something
know.
else.
So it just makes you wonder how much
Yeah.
more. And I posed this question to a guy yesterday, and I said, the main reason why I'm afraid for everyone is, I have a son too, and my son's African
Mhm,
American too,
mhm,
and I can't, control what he does, how he does it,
mhm,
if he's going to comply, or, I don't know, because again, you're scared, you
mhm,
don't know what to expect, you don't know if these guys are pulling you over for a real routine traffic stop or if they're pulling you over to kill you. You don't know
mhm,
now. And so that makes it really scared for our African American people, because it's not even just confined to men anymore.
Mhm.
It's everybody. So I mean, how do we get it back to where it was? I guess we don't really want it back to where it was. We just want to be safe and not have to worry about our lives.
Right.
So which
Yeah.
brings us to our last little topic, the thread on TikTok about National Rape a Woman Month, day. That's what it was, National Rape a Woman Day, and that is crazy too. And it might be just a game, but I mean, it might be just a game. You know, one of those things that they do. They even got a National Guard uh shoot protesters day. So, you know, it's just they got just crazy.
But
um
someone, you know what? Even if it's just a game, someone's going to take it serious. Someone's going to take it serious. You can't play with things like that. You know, people. You show people that the woman who glued her hair to her head. What is it? The and then someone else used the glue for something else. Monkey see, monkey do. Um,
exactly.
if you speak about it, other people are gonna follow it. It makes no sense to me. It makes
Right.
no sense. It's putting life to something because you speak it out loud.
Next week. Let's see if Tuesday
So
morning
they say this is a house, but
Thanks. Now can
let's
you
see if
change
it's
my
really a
baby's
hoax or
diaper?
not.
I'm afraid I don't have that skill.
Clean water doesn't have to be hard.
Hold on,
Call
guys,
or
I got
go
a
online
commercial.
for Access Water, and we can make clean and soft water easy for you.
A disturbing new hoax trend making its way around TikTok, deeming April the 24th as National Rape Day. Others across the app posting videos in response, warning people to be cautious and protect themselves this Saturday. Grace Morris joining us now. This is awful to hear. How did all this start?
While TikTok says the original video promoting the idea never existed, the response to it from all over the country has been astounding. The Lubbock Police Department and local crisis intervention organizations that I spoke to weren't even aware of this trend, and they want to make sure that survivors know where they can return if needed.
Assault is a problem everywhere, and Lubbock is not immune.
1 out of 6 women will experience rape or attempted rape in their lifetime, according to the Rape, Abuse, and Incest National Network, or RAINN.
Sexual violence is very prevalent.
According to the Voice of Hope in Lubbock, there were over 450 cases of sexual assaults in the hub city in 2019. But while April is Sexual Assault Awareness Month, a trend is going around TikTok deeming April 24th National Rape Day.
It's disturbing on so many different levels.
While TikTok claims the original video promoting the idea never existed, videos responding to the idea have become prevalent on the app.
It's important to not give power to ideas like that. It's important to make sure that survivors are being believed and supported and heard.
Lubbock Police releasing a statement regarding the issue, saying the Lubbock Police Department is aware of this TikTok trend and we are actively monitoring social media. And we encourage anyone who is a victim of a direct threat to make a report. According to RAINN, 80% of sexual assaults are committed by someone the victim knows. And Timmons doesn't see this trend changing that.
It's not this stranger, hiding out in an alley, jumping out and grabbing someone. Most of the time, it's an acquaintance, a boyfriend, a caregiver.
Timmons and Marino adding that no matter what, survivors are not alone.
When something like this happens to you, it can feel like the one thing that you have autonomy over yourself, that's been taken away, but it hasn't. That takes a lot of time to figure out. But know that you do have support and you're not alone.
If you or someone you know has experienced an assault, Voice of Hope has a 24-hour crisis intervention hotline that can help. That number at the bottom of your screen.
Okay, so that's the last of our topics for today. But can you even believe that something like that is out there?
Once been a catastrophe adjuster.
So dangerous. That's
It's
just to even say it, but no, I can't. That's ridiculous. And what worries me is, okay, what if it's a hoax this year? Next year, it's still embedded in certain people's minds, and when no one's thinking about it, all of a sudden we have like several rapes that happen across the country. Then all of a sudden they come back and say, well, you remember last year they did say that it was
right.
National Rape Day. I mean, come on now, that's ridiculous. It's
Yeah.
People do too much. It's
Yeah.
too much. It's too
Remember how
much.
they started off with the Bluebell ice cream? The Dare going into the grocery store, licking the ice cream, and it went
Mm.
viral. And they started doing it all over everywhere. And then Bluebell pulled the ice
That's it.
cream from the shelf. It's the
Exactly. And
same
now we're
thing.
in a COVID situation.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah. I mean, it is what it is, you
yeah,
know? And
it's
so,
crazy.
what's that movie where they have what 24 hours to kill everybody? Um,
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about.
What you mean, like the purge?
The
The
Purge,
Purge. Yep.
exactly. So I mean, that could be something like that too to start trending. You know,
Mm.
you can rape whoever you can rape. You got the whole day, April 24th, to rape. You know, whoever you want to rape or whatever. But I think about that, and I think about the trafficking, the human trafficking that's going on. Um, all that could be roped in together.
Mm.
Um, how I feel about it, I don't think it will become a trend per se. And the reason why I say that is, these people that are putting these trends, these TikTok videos out there are very much reckless. I agree with that, but it still doesn't change who you are on an individual level. So if you're a rapist, you're gonna be raping anyway. You're not gonna
Exactly.
rape because TikTok told you to. You're gonna already be out there doing that. And that lady said it best on that news report that most of the rapes and things of in sexual assaults is coming from people that
You know.
and that's real.
Mhm. Yeah.
That's not going to change.
Right.
Most of the rapes is coming through the sex trafficking and things of that nature. So
Mhm.
even though people are reckless in what they say, and they absolutely should not be condoning violence of any sort, sexual assault, any of those things,
Absolutely.
that should not be tolerated on any level. It's not okay.
Right.
It, like I said, it does not change the individual. If you're sick in the head and you're a coward and you're going to rape, you are going to do it anyway,
Yeah.
and pray that you
Absolutely.
get caught doing it before you do it.
Right.
Or God takes care
Right.
of you in a special way before you get to that. That's
Most
it.
Amen.
That's my opinion on it.
Well, I just want to say I want everyone to be safe. You know, even though this is hopefully not going to really happen, but please be safe because everything that we discussed today, these people didn't realize that they were going to die, and they did. Um, you know, just be safe and be mindful of your surroundings and stay prayed up. I mean, that's all you can do. Tomorrow's not promised. You just have to enjoy life right now. So, with that being said, Miss Love Guru, what's in the cards for us today?
What's in the cards? So I pulled this card before we got started, and basically it's the sound of the universe. It's basically the universe reminding us to get back to the things that make us happy. And it gave me an example of like music. Music is just one of those things that help you to get in tuned. You use it for different purpose. Music can kind of set the mood. If you're feeling romantic,
Mhm.
music can make you sad. Music can make you happy. Music can elevate your vibration. Like meditation and stuff like that. So sometimes when life has us down, never underestimate the power of music to kind of bring you back in tune and ground you in
Right.
moments like this. And also too, this card actually speaks to the situation that we were talking about those pivotal moments, those moments that kind of draw us into the mundane and have us tied to this 3D world. We have to remember that there's a higher source. When God is in control, these things are minimal. As much
Right.
as they seem to be overwhelming in this, we still have to realize it's a part of a plan. And we may
Mhm.
not understand it, because we only see our perspective and how we view things. But in understanding all of that, God still got us, so you can't allow situations to bring you to the point of hopelessness. Still look to the source, still
Absolutely.
hold on to hope, and be happy, be joyful, be grateful for those moments. Like you said, tomorrow is not promised. So we can't, allow situations to bring us to the point of hopelessness. And so that's the message I have for today.
That's an excellent message. I received that well. Yeah.
Yes,
Thank
I
you.
do too.
Thank you.
Definitely.
Well,
Beautiful.
any last remarks from you, Mr. Foster? What you got?
You know what? Just positive thoughts. That's it. Be good to yourself. As you say, if you watch any of my videos, you see hey, I'm a very happy person. I put out there what I want to come back to me.
Exactly.
So hey, be good to yourself. That's what I have.
And be good to the earth. It's Earth Day.
Okay.
Happy Earth Day,
It's Earth
everybody.
Day.
Oh,
Thank
beautiful.
you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Be good to
Thank
Yes.
Mother
you.
Earth. Mother Earth will be good to you.
That's right.
Most
That's right.
definitely.
You
Most
plant
definitely.
that seed, it will grow. Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, this concludes our show tonight. I want to thank you guys for making it a great show. I know everyone's
Definitely.
tired. It's a little later than normal, but you know what? We still have viewers. Thank you guys in the
Yes, we did. Thank
Yes,
you.
thank
Facebook
you.
world
Thank
and
you.
in YouTube world. Thank you so much. Subscribe, like, and share. We're
Most
trying to build our
definitely.
little program up, and we're looking forward to May 23rd, where we'll be participating
Yes.
in the Women's Symposium, the Women's Business Symposium at Military Circle. So we're real excited
Okay.
about that, and you need to come out and meet us. All of us will be there and get your little conversation and cocktails. I said it backwards, didn't I? Cocktails and conversations glass. We'll be right there free for you and come and meet our gang, our team. Miss Aisha will be here from Dallas,
Definitely.
Texas. We
Yes.
have DJ Nice coming in. We would love to see you guys to be a part of this fun thing that we're doing on May 24th, supporting our sister Tawana Golson in her famous. This is her third annual conference. So we're so blessed and pleased to be a part of the conference this year. So until next week, same time. No, earlier. Earlier or same time? What do y'all got? Our
Okay.
cups at 7,
We'll
so we got to
see.
stay.
Yes. Cocktails. With our
Foster.
cocktails.
Hmm?
Our cocktails.
Oh, in conversation.
There you go.
I'm a little slow, guys. It's late.
Okay, until then, guys, y'all have a good day and a good night and sleep well. Finish that glass of wine and make it happen. Y'all have a good night. Bye
Good
bye.
night. Bye bye.